अब आ रही है?
अभी तो कुछ नहीं आ रही।
कुछ बोलो, सामने वाला कुछ नहीं दे रहा, पूछो।
हेलो।
आवाज है सर। हेलो
हाँ, आ रही आ रही। कुलदीप
कुलदीप
सर,
जी, आवाज आ रही?
कुलदीप सर, गुड आफ्टरनून।
कैन यू हियर मिस्टर कुलदीप?
गुड आफ्टरनून। यस प्लीज।
आ रही आ रही।
हाँ हाँ
सर काफी
सर
2-3 जगह से हो गया है, तो आप सब लोग एक ही नीतीश को बुला। सर हेलो कुलदीप सर।
voice.
एवढा कुठे होती?
Very nice to have. Okay. It's really nice to have from the students. All are seem to be very happy, like happy and cheerful.
देखना पड़ेगा ना कौन सा वाला है।
Like it's going to be a good meeting.
तो कुलदीप सर हेलो। कुलदीप जी कैन यू हियर?
Yes.
कुलदीप सिंह जी कैन यू हियर?
जी सर।
अच्छा तो अभी जरा 5 मिनट वेट कर लेते हैं। करीब 70 लोग ज्वाइन किए हैं।
जी सर जी सर।
150 ने रजिस्टर किया था, तो 5 से लोग और ज्वाइन करते हैं, फिर करते थोड़ी देर में। 5 मिनट
ठीक है
में।
सर। जी सर जी सर ओके। हेलो।
Good afternoon, Dr. Reddy. We'll just wait for 5 minutes more and let more people join, and then we can start.
Kuldeep, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
जी सर, जी सर.
कहाँ चला गया?
I request my EIA colleagues, all the names are showing as Mr. Kuldeep Singh. They can click on more and rename so that each region can be represented, all 5 EIAs.
आइए सर. इधर बैठे. नहीं नहीं नहीं,
आप इधर में हैं, हम सिर्फ सुनने के लिए थोड़ा नॉलेज गैदर करने के लिए आए हैं। कौन है? अभी तो ज्वाइन नहीं हुआ.
ज्वाइन कर लिए हैं लेकिन
नहीं,
मेरे ही कहाँ चला गया? रश्मि का है, रश्मि ने ज्वाइन किया है?
सर मैंने ज्वाइन किया है. आई एम रश्मि कॉन्फ्रेंस रूम.
Okay. So you tell us when we should start.
Sir, it's up to you, sir. Like I want to 200 participants have
Registered. Good afternoon, Reddy साहब.
बहुत से वो नजर आ रहे हैं आपको.
Yeah, good afternoon all.
Yeah, thank you. Should we wait 5 minutes or we start? As you
Yeah,
say.
no issue. Some people may be facing audio issues. Let them correct, and
Okay.
by that time, 2-3 minutes, some more
All
people
right,
may join so that they will not miss out.
Okay. Okay.
हाँ सर, रश्मि वही से. बहुत सारे टैब्स नजर आ रहे हैं 8 to 10.
थोड़ा ऑडियो प्रॉब्लम है रश्मि.
आपने आपका नाम कैसे चेंज किया? मैं तो नहीं नाम चेंज कर पा रहा हूँ.
You can click on wherever it is name showing. Na more will be there. More if you click further, there will be rename. So, so when you click rename, yeah.
अच्छा, ये हमारा है क्या? ये सारी की सारी कुलदीप का आ रहा है. इसमें कुलदीप कौन सा कुलदीप किसका? हाँ, मैं समझ गया.
That you have to find out.
अरे वाह. हाँ जी.
Kuldeep, any solution? Which
in bracket you can see me. This me is mentioned there.
नमस्कार, रश्मि here. आप like बहुत सारे टैब्स नजर आ रहे हैं कुलदीप सर के नाम से. अगर आप सभी अलग हैं तो please rename yourself. It would really be better for us to know you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
These are all regional offices
my
of
name. I did the EIC. Then other can change their name.
काम करना कुछ तब मेरे को ये कुछ क्लिक हुआ नहीं है. शुरू नहीं किया.
Mr. Manoranjan Manthan.
सर.
So your name is changed. You can keep mute till others changes their name.
अगर आप राइट क्लिक करेंगे तो वहाँ पे रीनेम का एक बटन है, देन यू कैन रीनेम योर थैंक यू सो मच. We can see Manoranjan ji, then Bhaji. Sudhanshu ji, we have got Sudhanshu ji also. Pradeep ji.
बाकी लोगों को अपने नेम चेंज करने हैं.
Yes.
Mr. Kuldeep Singh, wherever you see within bracket me, that tab you can click and change your names.
Sir, 143 है join. आपको अगर लगता है तो आप start कर सकते हैं, लेकिन best है अगर rename हो जाता है तो बहुत अच्छा.
Let them just change their names. Rashmi, give them 2-3 minutes to change their names so that people will be able to know कि किस region से कौन है.
सर इनसे सिंपल बोलिए कि इनका जिसने भी लॉगिन कर रखा है ना उन सबका ऊपर ही आ रहा होगा.
वो सर ने बताया ना, एडिशनल ने भी बताया.
हाँ, और यहाँ पे रीनेम.
Kuldeep, you can just step by step you can guide them once again slowly.
All the EIA colleagues, please click on the right hand side window. On the top, you can see my name, Kuldeep Singh, and comma EIC me. On that, you please keep a cursor on that.
One
And
second.
on the,
Kuldeep, 1 second. Let them click first on participant so that it will be displayed in the sidebar.
Yes, yes. Panelist, sir, panelist में जाना पड़ेगा उनको.
नहीं, फर्स्ट पार्टिसिपेंट क्लिक किए तो आएगा ना पैनलिस्ट.
जी. And then there is a more button. There is a drop down in that, and under that you can change your name. Rename option is there.
Still 4 more colleagues have to change. Can EIA colleagues can tell their names one by one?
We can just tell them, we can rename it.
Yes.
Unmute yourself so that we can identify you and rename it.
Video on करो ना अपना.
One by one, just tell me if you're not able to rename it. I can rename it from here. Just unmute yourself if anyone want to rename there.
Now 2 more only I think left.
Okay, they are able to do that now. Is there? Okay.
3 guys left.
Okay. Hello. I think we start here now, Dr. Reddy.
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome everyone to this very important webinar on the requirement of certificate of origin for exports to Dubai, UAE to avail the duty-free benefit of import of jewelry there. As you all know, UAE is a very important market for the Indian gems and jewelry. And earlier this year, on 18th of February, a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, CEPA, was signed between India and UAE in Delhi. And this became effective from the 1st of May. Under this arrangement, the Indian jewelry can be exported to Dubai and the entire UAE and get duty concession of 5%, which otherwise is levied on the Indian jewelry. So this is a very big concession which the UAE government has given to the Indian exporters. To take benefit of this 5% exemption, one of the important requirements for the Indian exporters is that their goods should be accompanied with a certificate of origin certifying that this is Indian jewelry. Now, this certificate is to be given by a government agency. There are a number of agencies which can give certificates. For our sector, the DGFT and the regional office of DGFT, along with export inspection agencies under the Export Inspection Council, are authorized to give the certificates. I think some of the jewelers would already be aware that on the very first day, that is the 1st of May, when this agreement became operational, our sector was one of the first sector to arrange 3 shipments from Delhi, which went to Dubai with a certificate of origin issued by the Export Inspection Agency in Delhi. So that was a very big achievement and a historic day for our sector. And we are grateful to Dr. Reddy and Mr. Kuldeep Singh, the Deputy Director of Export Inspection Agency in Delhi, who helped the exporters fill the forms and obtain the certificate of origin. For the benefit of the participants, as many of us are not aware of the procedure and the system by which we can get the certificate of origin, we had requested and we are grateful and thankful to Dr. D.S. Reddy, the Additional Director of Export Inspection Council, under whom the export inspection agencies, which have branches all over the country, are. They have agreed to join us today to apprise the participants about as to how to go about filling the form for certificate of origin and how to obtain it. Along with them, their regional offices from across the country are also with us, whose names you can see on your screen. So thanks everyone for joining, and may now request Dr. Reddy to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Duggalji, and all the participants. Very good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me. This is we can say, momentous occasion we witnessed on 1st May 2022, and we are glad that gems and jewelry exporters come forward to take benefit at the earliest under this agreement. So Commerce Secretary, Honorable Commerce Secretary has flagged off by handing over the 3 consignments which were successfully cleared, as Mr. Duggal told the same day. He updated me that successfully cleared there as well. So here, along with me, my other colleagues are also there. I will just give a few pointers which you need to keep in mind. One is obtaining the certificate. So my colleagues will explain the procedure, because the system is online now. So exporters sitting anywhere, they can apply online. And what are the documents to be needed while registering, and what are the requirements like digital signature required, which is means compatible or attached with IEC code. So all those things step by step my colleagues will explain. Right from beginning, how to register them as exporters in the common digital platform, that is online platform from which this certificate of origin are being issued. And you all may be knowing that this certificate is like a promissory note. It has a financial instruments, so due care has to be taken by all. So sometimes when our officers ask certain documents, what are the documents required, we are explaining now itself. So those documents are minimum documents which are required, because officer is signing, you are also signing on that instrument which is of financial nature. So due diligence has to be taken so that later problems will not happen. The step is not over, means we can say once we got a certificate of origin, means okay, we got the benefit. It is not like that. So after obtaining certificate of origin, after the consignment landed at one of the UAEs, after clearing customs also, there is always chances, if customs at any later point they want to verify whether the instrument is genuinely issued or not, they have right under the agreement to refer back that certificate to Government of India authorities to verify. That is what we call post verification. So anytime, even after clearing, even after you getting benefit also, there is a chance that this certificate will be referred back to the government of India to verify. That time the officers can again seek more documents from you to prove that it is meeting all the rules of the origin. This we have to keep in mind. So I request all of you to exercise due diligence and sincerely submit the document in the first instance itself, so that we should not leave any scope or any room for suspicion at later date, either by authorities in UAE or Indian custom authorities or anywhere. Of course, Indian custom authorities may not be asking the CVO, but the custom authorities at UAE, they have right to refer back at any time later. So please make due caution. This is my sincere request. So once you understand this procedure, I think it is not a very big difficulty, but don't use any shortcuts. Don't use any shortcuts. Whatever the required, please make accordingly. Our officers are there to guide you when a cost sheet is required or how to information we have to put. So all those things they are ready to help always, but it is your duty to submit documents in proper shape, so that there will not be any delay in issuing the certificate. Otherwise, officer will raise a query that exporter may not be seeing in his box why I have not got, and all such communication gap. To avoid that, please understand and go through when my officers are explaining the procedure. If any doubts, please free to ask, either put in the chat box or at the end of the session. We are open to receive the questions. So to clarify all the aspects. So please keep in mind, it is a financial instrument and everybody has to exercise caution. And secondly, this one session may not be sufficient because all exporters, this is only particular one sector. So as a part of training calendar of export inspection agencies, we will be conducting whenever any new agreement or refresher programs also under different FTAs. So regional calendar will be there. We will circulate through Gems and Jewelry Council to the all exporters. So region wise also they can participate to further clarify, or some of the people, documentation people today, only one or two may be attending from each exporter. So when we are organizing region wise, that time more people can attend those programs and get all the clarifications, so that later point it will not be difficult for officer or the exporters, and trade will happen in smooth way. And let us hope we will achieve whatever the targets and big dreams we have on this export front. So I wish this workshop a grand success, and I will hand over to other panelists for speaking.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for giving this very great insight into the intricacies of the requirement and the importance of the certificate of origin. I am sure this will help all the exporters who are present here. And it's a very happy sign to note that you have already assured that we can have regional programs wherever our regions are. You know, our main centers of export are Chennai, Mumbai, Surat, Calcutta, Jaipur. And I am sure you have your regional offices there. So we would, in the near future, be organizing similar programs, which would be region specific, and where those regional exporters can attend and get acquainted with not only the procedures but also with the functioning of your office as to how the certificate of origin will be issued in the regions. So thank you very much. And I think now we request Mr. Kuldeep Singh to give a detailed guidance on how to fill the form for certificate of origin.
Okay, thank you, sir.
1 minute.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay.
Actually, request आ रही है हिंदी में भी.
Sorry.
सर हमको रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है हिंदी में.
हिंदी और इंग्लिश मिक्स.
ठीक है सर, ठीक है, चलिए. थैंक यू.
सो हिंदी पार्ट आई एम रिपीटिंग. ये है ना, एक बार सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन दिए तो काम खत्म हुआ नहीं है. इवन आफ्टर UAE, वन ऑफ द कंट्रीज, वन ऑफ दिस एमिरेट्स में भी क्लियर हो गया, आप कस्टम ड्यूटी बेनिफिट मिल गया, मतलब भी काम खत्म नहीं हुआ है. दे उसको राइट है, कभी भी यूएई गवर्नमेंट ने इंडिया गवर्नमेंट को पूछ सकता है वेरीफाई करो दोबारा बोल के, तब डिटेल में डॉक्यूमेंटेशन देना पड़ेगा। कुछ गलती हो गया इश्यू टाइम पे या एनी टाइम एक्सपोर्टर डिक्लेरेशन करते टाइम पे कुछ गलती हो गया तो दोबारा दिक्कत होगा। व्हाट एवर ड्यूटी आप बेनिफिट मिला है उसका मल्टीपल्स में आपको वापस पेनाल्टी लगा सकता है। सो इसीलिए है ना, बहुत जरूरी है डॉक्यूमेंट सबमिट करते टाइम पे करेक्ट डॉक्यूमेंट सबमिट करें एंड उसको फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट जैसा आप लोगों का एक्सपोर्टर का भी सिग्नेचर रहता है, ऑफिसर का सिग्नेचर रहता है, इट इज लाइक दोनों बाइंडिंग है। सो कुछ ना गलत इंफॉर्मेशन ना दीजिए। मेरा कोलिग्स को मैं हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों में बताने को बोलता हूँ। सो पूरा समझ लीजिए, कहीं भी डाउट आता है किसी टर्म पे किसी डॉक्यूमेंट पे आप पूछ सकते हैं एट द एंड ऑफ द सेशन या बीच में भी। एट द एंड ऑफ द सेशन लेट अस कीप,
एंड ऑफ द सेशन,
एंड ऑफ द सेशन लेट अस कीप। ठीक है, धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर रेड्डी।
Okay. Am I audible?
कुलदीप सुनाई दे रहा, बट हिंदी में ही साथ साथ में हिंदी में भी बोलते जाइए।
मेरा स्क्रीन विजिबल है सर?
हाँ हाँ।
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon to you all once again. In today's session, I will cover the two aspects of the India UAE agreement. One is the rule of origin, which is required for the to issue the certificate of origin, and you can say the certificate. Next one, I will explain the certification procedure, how the exporter can avail the facility of certificate of origin, and that can be issued from the AIAs. As a background, as you know, India UAE CEPA was signed on 18th of February 2022 and has become operational from 1st May 2022. And the aim of this agreement is to develop a economic region, economic development of the region through increasing the export trade between India and UAE. And there are some objectives behind this signing of this agreement. The first objective is the creation of a new employment opportunities, rising of living standards, and improve general awareness, welfare of the populations, and support in growth and development of the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. And to achieve these goals, to achieve these objectives, basically, there are tariff schemes which will provide preferential access involving either in reduction in the duty or elimination of the import duty to zero level. Like in case of gold, there is a 5% duty in UAE at the time of import, and if you produce that UAE certificate of origin under this agreement at the time of importation and at UAE, in that case, your importer not to pay any duty at that moment. Then what the question arises, what are the tariff schemes then? Tariff scheme is nothing but a system installed through an agreement under which the products of an exporting country are allowed preferential access in the market of the importing country, in this case UAE. And preferential entry could be in the form of reduced MFN rate or duty-free treatment to eligible product. As I explained, in case of the gold, there is a zero duty. And to decide whether your product is eligible to get that tariff preferential in the importing country or not, in that case, there are some rules defined in the agreement. Basically, such rules are always available in all the agreements. And based upon these rules, we are determining whether your product is eligible to get a certificate of origin or not. Basically, rule of origin is nothing but the set of rules used for determining whether a product is eligible for preferential treatment under a preferential schemes, and set of rules used for determining whether a product could be considered originating in India. Basically, when you are exporting something, you are mentioning your product, and at that moment, exporter as well as the certifying officer has to verify whether this product is originating in India or not, or whether meeting the rule of origin of a particular agreement or not. And the purpose to verify these things to determine the eligibility of the goods to get a preferential access in that particular country and prohibiting the goods originating in the third country from benefits of the preferential tariff schemes. And these rules of origin, the key preferential key to any preferential agreement, only product considered to be originating in India, you can see the beneficiary country in this case, and qualify for the preferential tariff treatment on import into a preference giving country, in this case UAE. And there are you can say 4 major components of the rule of origin. First is the origin criteria, which determines the origin of the goods. Second is the consignment conditions.
Kuldeep, I request you to in between these major components ना हिंदी में भी जितना हो सकता है उतना बताते जाइए साथ साथ.
जी सर. In case of the origin criteria, we have to find out कि आपका जो goods है, आपका जो product आप export करने जा रहे हैं, वो जो rules of origin है, उनको meet करता है नहीं करता है. I will explain कि how you can find out that thing, how you can see that. Then consignment condition, जैसे ही आप consignment इंडिया से UAE भेजेंगे, उसकी एक condition है कि आपका जो consignment है direct consignment होना चाहिए. इन बिटवीन यदि सपोज किसी टेक्निकल रीजन की वजह से आपका कंसाइनमेंट वो थर्ड कंट्री के थ्रू यदि यूएई जा रहा है, इन दैट केस आपको आपका कंसाइनमेंट इट शुड बी रिमेन इन ए कस्टम बाउंडिंग एरिया. दैट इज अ कंडीशन इन द एग्रीमेंट. Then third one is the documentary evidence. Documentary evidence is nothing but a proof of origins. In this case, we can see the certificate of origin being produced at the time of importation at the importing country. And then the special provisions are there, like de minimis rule and other rules. I will explain one by one. A product, we can say a product is originating in India. You can say there may be a two type of the product. एक product ये होता है कि जो हमने यहीं से जैसे suppose करो कि हमने vegetables हैं, we are growing in our country. And other products in which we have to use some imported ingredient. And without that might be those products are not being manufactured. So in this case we can say that there are two types of the product, and we can say that there are two types of the product which are originating in India. One is it has been wholly obtained in India, and second one is it has been manufactured by non-originating or imported materials, provided such non-originating or imported material have undergone sufficient working or processing in India. I will explain what exactly the sufficient processing and sufficient working. On the other hand, a product using imported material is non-originating if the imported material have only been subject to minimal operation in India. There is a condition given in the agreement, list of some operations have been defined, which are the minimal operations. And these minimal operations are not qualifying operations. I will show the list at the end, and in that case, your product, if you are using a imported raw material in your production of a goods, in that case, your product should go through the beyond the minimal operations on your imported goods. It means जैसे सपोज करो कि मैं छोटा एग्जांपल लेता हूं, आप यदि गोल्ड इंपोर्ट करके लेके आते हैं और गोल्ड से आप ज्वेलरी बनाते हैं, in that case your product is we can say it is sufficiently working and processing have been carried out of that gold. And suppose in other case, suppose you are bringing the ready-made jewelry from some other countries and you are just repacking in India and again exporting to the UAE. In that case, your product is not considered as an originating product in India. I think now it is clear. Now, and here now one more thing is to mention. It is important to note here that material of unknown origin are considered to be the imported. Sometimes while we are preparing a cost sheet, we are not knowing what is the origin of this particular product. In that case, we are mentioning in that cost sheet the unknown origin, and unknown origin material will always be considered as imported raw materials. Then the wholly obtained goods we can classify in this like this, which are grown, extracted from the soil and harvested in India. And any goods manufactured by using clause 1 to 3 within the country, and such goods we can consider as a wholly obtained in India. And in absence of in these product, there is a, you can say, in otherwise आप ये कह सकते हैं कि कोई भी प्रोडक्ट में यदि कोई भी इंपोर्टेड इंग्रेडिएंट नहीं है, उसी केस में आप आपके गुड्स को कंप्लीटली इंडिया में ऑब्टेन किया कह सकते हो. कंप्लीटली होली ऑब्टेन इंडिया तभी कह सकते हैं इफ देयर इज नो इंपोर्टेड इंग्रेडिएंट यूज इन योर प्रोडक्शन. Product manufactured using imported or non-originating material or parts are considered to be sufficiently worked or processed if they are meeting the conditions set out for the product in a product-specific rule. In this agreement, PSR is given, product-specific rules are defined, and based on those PSR, if your goods are meeting those PSR, in that case only we can say your goods are meeting the origin criteria and your goods are sufficiently worked and processed. In PSR, there are some specific operations have also been defined for the few chapters for silver, gold, and iron and steel. Basically, the terminology mentioned here is the certified UAE / India goods delivery silver bars in different denomination. Basically, this is not clear to us in the agreement, and on this particular case, we have to take some clarification from the RBTR division. Who will certify such things? Then for other products, PSR described in the agreement wholly obtained status and tariff, change in tariff classification and value addition in India, and a combination of change in tariff classification as well as the value addition in India. And there are change in classification take place at chapter level, at first 2 digit of the HS code, or tariff heading level 4 digit of the HS code, and tariff subheading level up to 6 digit of the HS code. How it happened, I will explain. Take example of your gems and jewelry chapter. In this case, you can see in first column there is a HS code, second is a description of the goods, and third one is the product specific rules. For say example, first 71 chapter, one rule is defined, product PSR is defined, CTSS plus VA 40%. It means CTSS means change in tariff subheading. Change in tariff subheading means, suppose you are taking one imported raw material and you are making a finished good from that, out of that imported raw material. In that case, your finished good HS code should be different from the imported raw material goods HS code up to at 6 digit level. And VA 40% means there should be a value addition on the imported raw material of 40% of the FOB value. So in maximum case, in case of the jewelry items, there is a requirement of CTHS plus RVC plus this value addition. But in case of in few cases, the value addition is up to 3%, 3.5%, 6%, or in case of the jewelry of gold set with diamonds, in that case the value addition is required 7%. I will explain how you can calculate these value additions. I'll just make a sample copy of this cost sheet to calculate the value addition.
Kuldeep, you can go slowly, bit slowly, huh?
Okay, sir. You can see a sample cost sheet. In this sample cost sheet, I just mention one, say, dummy invoice 1 to 3, and the HS code of the finished goods is say 7111910. And in this case, I've shown the FOB value. FOB value, I've taken 100 USD. Suppose you are you have completed a one consignment ready for export, and having FOB value is say 100 USD. And you have find out you have used the imported raw material or the material of undetermined origin, जिसका आपको origin नहीं पता है, उसकी value आपकी calculation हमारी से 90 USD. And in such case, jewelry case, it is very rare that you have some ingredient of Indian origin. It is very difficult to identify the origin of the such ingredient like precious metals or precious stones and alloy also. So in this case, I have not taken any value of the indigenous raw material. It is nil. And then you have to calculate, you have to keep a record of what is the direct cost of processing, what is the overhead cost in manufacturing of the particular item. In this case, I have taken say $5 in case of the direct cost of processing, and overhead cost is a $5. This is the summary on the top, and in the first table you can see the detail of the raw materials, from where we have to check whether it is a CTHS or not. I have to show how you can check it. In the table you can see a name of the material. It is a gold. I have taken say gold from some other countries, and I'm not aware of the origin of that gold. I have mentioned the unknown or undetermined. Then the HS code of the raw gold I have just taken 710810, and some ABCs, my bill of entries or bank invoice number. Then the unit rate is normally mentioned in the invoice or bill of entries. If it is not, then you have to calculate with respect to the quantity and value in that invoice.
Kuldeep, is it possible to show a little bigger, because I am also finding difficult. Zoom वगैरह कर सकते हैं इसमें?
Just a second, sir.
हाँ, that's good. That is good.
जी sir. थोड़ा मुँह करना पड़ेगा. Then in this one, the per unit value I have taken 8.5 USD. It is you can say per gram, and then quantity used in the finished product may be 10 grams. Then your value of the material used in the finished goods, you can identify it is 85 USD. And in the second row, as when you are importing a gold, might be its purity of a say 24 carat. Then definitely to make a jewelry, you have to convert either in a 22 carat or 18 carat or 14 carat like that. And for that, you have to add some alloys to your pure gold. And I've taken one say example of one alloy having HS code is 741010. And the value of that is I've taken 1 USD. In this way, you can see the value of the total raw materials having a unknown origin is coming out 90 USD. And the formula is prescribed in the agreement itself to calculate the value addition. It is almost same in all the FTAs, like in India, Korea, India, Japan, and in this agreement also it is almost same. The formula is you have to put the FOB value and minus the value of non-originating material, okay, or value of unknown origin, you can say. This is 100. I have taken FOB of say 100 and minus the value of the unknown origin raw material used in the production and divided by FOB value and multiplied by say 100, it comes around the 10%. It becomes a 10% value addition in this case. I think I'm able to clear it. And there are two methods to calculate this thing. One is a direct method, sometimes we can say, and one is an indirect method, or otherwise one is based on the value of non-originating material and one is based on the value of the originating material. In second case, I've taken a value of originating material is 0 and the value and there is no value of originating material, and then second is the overhead cost and the direct cost of processing, 5 and 5, as I shown in the first table at serial number 3 and 4. In this case also the value addition is 10%. It may vary sometimes as per the methodology used.
Kuldeep, I request you to, this is important aspect, वो origin criteria है ना, starting से दोबारा एक बार बता दीजिए आप, not only cost sheet, origin criteria से लेकर
हिंदी में भी समझा दीजिए.
नेक्स्ट शीट में है, नेक्स्ट शीट में है सर.
कुलदीप
जरा इसको हिंदी में भी बताना.
कुलदीप ये हिंदी में ट्राई कर लो, आप तो हिंदी के रीजन से हैं.
जी 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 सर, इसमें होता क्या है कि जैसे आप
ओरिजिन क्राइटेरिया से शुरू कर दो एक बार.
ओके सर,
ये है ना वेरी क्रिटिकल. आप जितना अच्छा समझा पाएंगे अपने को उतना कम दिक्कत आएगा बाद में.
जी सर, जी सर.
Other things even we skip, okay, but this is very important.
जी सर। जब हम रूल ऑफ ओरिजिन स्टडी करते हैं, रूल ऑफ ओरिजिन में हमारे पास मेन जो कंपोनेंट होता है टू आइडेंटिफाई द ओरिजिन क्राइटेरिया ऑफ ए गुड्स। और जो हमारे पास इस एग्रीमेंट के तहत हम दो तरह से अपने गुड्स को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं, दो तरह के गुड्स हम कह सकते हैं, और दोनों दो तरह के ओरिजिन क्राइटेरिया हो सकते हैं। एक तरह का क्या है, गुड्स होली ऑब्टेन्ड हो सकते हैं कि जिन गुड्स के अंदर हमें जो या कंसाइनमेंट के अंदर जिसमें हम कोई भी इंपोर्टेड रॉ मटेरियल यूज नहीं करते हैं, उन गुड्स को हम कहते हैं होली ऑब्टेन्ड गुड्स। बट इन केस ऑफ ज्वेलरी केस देयर इज नो होली ऑब्टेन्ड गुड्स। इन ज्वेलरी केस ओनली द गुड्स आर, सेकंड टाइप ऑफ गुड्स होते हैं जिसके अंदर सफिशिएंट वर्किंग और प्रोसेसिंग किया गया हो। सफिशिएंट वर्किंग और प्रोसेसिंग का मतलब होता है कि जो आइटम आपने जिस फॉर्म में इंपोर्ट किया था उसकी फॉर्म चेंज हो जानी चाहिए, और उसका एचएस कोड भी पहले 6 गोल्ड के केस में बात करते हैं, ज्वेलरी के केस में बात करते हैं, तो उसका जो एचएस कोड है वो 6 डिजिट पे चेंज होना चाहिए। ओके। और उसमें दूसरा कंडीशन होता है कि देयर शुड बी ए वैल्यू एडिशन। वैल्यू एडिशन इज डिफाइंड इन द PSR में वैल्यू एडिशन का फॉर्मूला दिया हुआ है, कितना वैल्यू एडिशन कौन से टाइप के प्रोडक्ट के लिए अलाउड है। एंड यू हैव टू कंप्लाई, आप लोगों को वो रूल कंप्लाई करना होता है कि आपकी वैल्यू एडिशन उतनी आनी चाहिए। यदि उतनी वैल्यू एडिशन नहीं है और आपका जो एचएस कोड है 4 डिजिट पे चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, 6 डिजिट पे चेंज नहीं होता है, उस केस में आपको सर्टिफिकेट नहीं लेना चाहिए, नहीं अप्लाई करना चाहिए। और दूसरा जो क्लासिफिकेशन होता है कि हम जो चेंज इन हेडिंग करते हैं, पहले 2 डिजिट को हम चैप्टर बोलते हैं, सेकेंड और नेक्स्ट जो 4 डिजिट पे हम बात करते हैं उसको टैरिफ हेडिंग बोलते हैं। एंड जब हम 6 डिजिट लेवल की बात करते हैं एचएस कोड के, उसको हम टैरिफ सब हेडिंग की बात बोलते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ए टैरिफ सब हेडिंग, चेंज इन टैरिफ सब हेडिंग। And these are the PSR. And when you prepare a certificate of origin, I will explain कि you have to select either wholly obtained goods or not wholly obtained goods. In that case, not wholly obtained goods, there is a PSR is mentioned. Under PSR, you have to mention this. You have to type this particular origin criteria. Like suppose you are exporting, say, jewelry of the gold unset having HS code is 711319। यदि आप ये ज्वेलरी अनसेट एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, उसका एचएस कोड आपको लिखना होगा एप्लीकेशन में 711319। और उसके सामने जब आप एप्लीकेशन फाइल करेंगे, मैं शो करूंगा, दिखाऊंगा आपको, उसके अंदर आपको डालना होगा CTHS प्लस 3.5% VA। तो ये एसटी जैसे आप
ये स्क्रीन को भी थोड़ा जूम कर लो।
ओके, ठीक है। तो इस केस में आपको जो ओरिजिन क्राइटेरिया डालना होता है, और इस ओरिजिन क्राइटेरिया पे ही पूरे सर्टिफिकेट में मैक्सिमम आप, मैं दिखाऊंगा फॉर्मेट, उसमें केवल दिस पर्टिकुलर फील्ड इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट। अदर डिटेल्स आर फ्रॉम योर इनवॉइस ओनली, एंड दिस डिटेल इज नॉट अवेलेबल इन योर इनवॉइस, and this detail you have to calculate in the at the cost sheet. From the cost sheet, this detail you have to put in an application. इसको करते हैं ना क्लोज। एंड जैसे मैं कोस्ट शीट एक्सप्लेन कर रहा था, यदि क्लियर नहीं तो मैं दोबारा इसको एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ, थोड़ा जूम कर दो इसको। इन कोस्ट शीट आप देखेंगे कि आपको सबसे पहले आपका इनवॉइस नंबर डालना रहता है, उसके बाद इनवॉइस डेट डालना रहता है। ये कोस्ट शीट नॉर्मली ये आपके लेटर हेड पे होनी चाहिए, एंड इट शुड बी ड्यूली साइंड एंड स्टैम्प, एंड देन आपको स्कैन कॉपीज की अपलोड करनी चाहिए। इट शुड बी ऑथेंटिक डॉक्यूमेंट। देन इन कोस्ट शीट आप देखेंगे कि एफओबी प्राइस एंड एक्सवर्क प्राइस। एक्चुअली एग्रीमेंट में आप दो तरीके से आप कंसाइनमेंट की वैल्यू मेंशन कर सकते हैं, इन टर्म ऑफ एफओबी वैल्यू और इन टर्म ऑफ द एक्सवर्क प्राइस। इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू कि विच वैल्यू यू आर टेकिंग। देन इन दिस केस मैं इसमें एफओबी वैल्यू ही कंसीडर करके चल रहा हूँ। ये 100 USD मैंने एफओबी वैल्यू माना एक कंसाइनमेंट का, जिसके अंदर जैसे मैंने प्रोडक्ट का नाम लिखा रिंग, सपोज आप रिंग बना रहे हैं गोल्ड की, और उसके अंदर आप गोल्ड जो यूज कर रहे हैं उसकी जो वैल्यू है 90 USD। और गोल्ड बनाने में आप दूसरे भी कुछ अलॉय वगैरह या दूसरे आइटम यूज करते हैं टू रिड्यूस देयर प्योरिटी। तो उसमें इसके अलावा जो कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्व होती है, आपकी डायरेक्ट कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोसेसिंग रहती है, ओवरहेड कॉस्ट रहती है, इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट भी होती है, और आपका प्रॉफिट भी रहता है। तो ये कंपोनेंट इसमें मैंने इस तरह से दिखाए हैं, $5 और $5। तो अब दूसरा टेबल जब देखेंगे कि इसके अंदर आप देखेंगे, पहला गोल्ड आइटम का प्रोडक्ट का नाम है, क्या रॉ मटेरियल आपने यूज किया, गोल्ड है, उसका ओरिजिन हमने दिखाया कि अननोन ओरिजिन है, देन उसका हमने एचएस कोड लिखा है, उसके बाद उसका बिल ऑफ एंट्री इनवॉइस नंबर लिखना रहता है, एंड उसके बाद आपको इनवॉइस से ही आपका पर यूनिट वैल्यू कितनी है उस गोल्ड की, वो आपको ये ग्राम में भी हो सकता है, 10 ग्राम में भी, दैट डिपेंड्स अपॉन यू हाउ यू आर कैलकुलेटिंग। देन उसकी कितनी क्वांटिटी आपने पर्टिकुलर कंसाइनमेंट में यूज किया है, पर्टिकुलर आइटम में यूज किया है, मैं आइटम की बात कर रहा हूँ, इसमें रिंग की बात कर रहा हूँ, एक रिंग में कितना ग्राम का आपने एक रिंग बनाया है, 10 ग्राम का सपोज आपने रिंग बनाया। देन गोल्ड की वैल्यू इसके अंदर आपका 85 USD आ जाता है। देन गोल्ड, क्योंकि प्योर गोल्ड से आप ज्वेलरी नहीं बना सकते हैं, तो देन यू हैव टू कन्वर्ट इट इन some 18 कैरेट और 22 कैरेट और 14 कैरेट, इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन यू कि आप कौन से कैरेट की कोई रिंग बना रहे हैं। तो देन एलओए आपने यूज किया, उस एलओए का एचएस कोड हमने लिखा, और एचएस कोड लिखने के बाद उसके बाद अदर डिटेल लिखा, देन इसकी वैल्यू हमने निकाल ली, ये 5 USD आ रहा है। तो इस तरह से हम देख रहे हैं कि इसमें आपका टोटल जो वैल्यू ऑफ द रॉ मटेरियल है, जिसका ओरिजिन आपको नहीं मालूम है, अननोन ओरिजिन है, उसकी वैल्यू 90 USD है, और इसमें कोई भी रॉ मटेरियल इंडियन ओरिजिन का नहीं है, इसलिए इसको हमने NA कर दिया है। उसके बाद एग्रीमेंट में फॉर्मूला दिया हुआ है कि आपको वैल्यू एडिशन किस तरह से कैलकुलेट करना होता है। वैल्यू एडिशन का फॉर्मूला है FOB माइनस वैल्यू ऑफ द नॉन ओरिजिनेटिंग मटेरियल डिवाइडेड बाय FOB, एंड ये परसेंटेज निकालना है तो देन डिवाइडेड मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 100, इस तरह से नीचे परसेंटेज आ जाता है। तो इसमें आप देखेंगे कि यहाँ पे जो एचएस कोड है, एचएस कोड ऑफ द रॉ मटेरियल 710810 एंड 741010, और टॉप में आप प्रोडक्ट का एचएस कोड देखेंगे जो कि आप एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, फाइनल कंसाइनमेंट है आपका, उसका एचएस कोड क्या है 71119110। In this case, you can see there is no matching of the HS code at 6-digit level. It means ये CTSH वाला जो क्राइटेरिया है वो क्वालिफाई कर रहा है, फर्स्ट थिंग। दूसरा क्राइटेरिया हमने क्या देखना है कि वैल्यू एडिशन है उसमें। दूसरा क्राइटेरिया वैल्यू एडिशन कहाँ से देखेंगे, इस फॉर्मूला से निकालेंगे हम। इस फॉर्मूला से हमने वैल्यू एडिशन निकाला से 10%। आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग ए सैंपल, नॉट टेक इट अदरवाइज कि 10% कैसे आ गया। तो इसमें 10, वहां पे आपको कंडीशन क्या दिया हुआ है, प्लेन ज्वेलरी के केस में CTHS प्लस 3.5% वैल्यू एडिशन, और आपका वैल्यू एडिशन कितना आ रहा है 10%। तो वहां पे एज टी जो फॉर्मूला PSR में दिया हुआ है वो फॉर्मूला आप एज टी लिख सकते हैं, और CTHS प्लस 10% भी लिख सकते हैं, दैट इट इज अप टू यू, बोथ आर करेक्ट, बट इट इज बेटर जो PSR में फॉर्मूला प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है, जो ओरिजिनल क्राइटेरिया प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है वही आप लिखें, कि एट लेटर स्टेज माइट बी योर कैलकुलेशन में कुछ मिस्टेक हुआ एट द लेवल ऑफ पोस्ट वेरिफिकेशन, जैसे सर ने क्लियर किया कि पोस्ट वेरिफिकेशन आते हैं इसमें, एंड एट लेटर स्टेज इंपोर्टिंग कस्टम्स में आस्क फॉर द वेरिफिकेशन ऑफ द सर्टिफिकेट you have taken from the any of the EIAs. At that time, we are also requesting to verify your all the documents, and we also take all the documents to cross-examine your calculations. At that moment, sometimes it happen कि earlier you have mentioned a 10% of a value addition, might be on verification it may come 9%. Then it is always advisable you please mention the formula whatever prescribed in the agreements, like CTHS plus 3.5% value addition, instead of mentioning the actual value addition in the origin criteria. Okay. Now, suppose one another thing, suppose there are multiple items in your invoice. Yeah, and because you are not exporting a single ring in a consignment, might be there are suppose 100 rings in a consignment or 100 bangles in a consignment, and then in that case you have to calculate the item wise value additions, and maximum some jewelry industries, they are keeping such records in this format. Format may vary from company to company, but the objective is in this case you can see, suppose bangle, there are 10 bangles you are exporting, and you can make a combined cost sheet as I shown in the previous case, But in a detailed cost sheet, detailed working, you should calculate a item-wise calculation, because it may happen in some cases suppose there are 10 bangles, might be one bangle may not qualify. There may be one bangle having a value addition less than 3.5%. In such case, you should not add that particular item in your consignment, or specifically you should clarify the item number. This is not for the preferential tariff benefit in the agreement. It is very important, because at later stage, suppose it is comes in on paper your product is not qualifying. At that moment, it becomes a very sorry figure for us to reply back to the importing customs your product is not qualifying. But at the time of exportation, we have issued a certificate based upon the documents provided by the exporters. So please take full care while preparing the documents, and you must prepare a item-wise detail working or detail value additions in a particular item. In this case, you can see I have taken say one bangle of 18 carats, having a number of pieces only one, and having a weight is 10 grams. Then I have to calculate the metal weight kitna hai isme. Then you have to there are set formula at the manufacturing units to how you can calculate the metal weight. Then pure metal kitna hai isme, then loss kitna hua as per the DGFT norms and these all. Then metal loss percentage aap nikal sakte, percentage जो दिया हुआ है. Then there is a actual usage of the metal in the bangle, that is 7.245. And based upon that, you have to calculate the metal rate as per your invoice. कि metal rate क्या है आपका, 22 कैरेट है या 18 कैरेट है या 14 कैरेट्स है. Then after getting that metal rate, you can find out the metal value, total metal value. And you have a procedure in your factories to calculate the overhead cost. What is the overhead cost and what is your profit and these all. After adding these all things, you have to calculate your FOB value. And FOB value, and then based upon the FOB value, as I explained the formula in the previous sheet, you can calculate the item-wise value addition. In this case, I've shown that say 22%. It is just sample. Now, in this case, I have shown only one item. You can add say 10 items of the bangles of having different style number. Might be the style to style, there may be a different valuation, and it happens. I've seen while issuing the certificate of origins for gold and jewelries, multiple times I've seen there is a difference in the value addition item wise. Then I've shown this cost. This cost sheet can be prepared a combined cost sheet for say bangles. Suppose you have a 10 bangles. You can prepare a combined cost sheet like this, but you have to enclose this complete working. If you are not preparing an item-wise cost sheet, then you have to enclose this working along with the combined cost sheet. I think it is clear up to this. As I explained in agreement, the method of value addition are provided. It is based on the value of the non-originating material as well as the value of the originating material. This is the formula prescribed in the Article 3.2 of the agreement, as I shown in the cost sheet. Then I discussed the second rule of origin is the consignment conditions. The rule designated to ensure that the goods retain their identity and are not manipulated or further processed in the course of shipment. In principle, the goods must be consigned directly to the country of the import without passing through any other territory. And the last one is the proof of origin, and the proof of origin is you can say it may be a combined declaration or a certificate of origin. And the certificate of origin format in the agreement has been prescribed. In this format, you can see in the format, while filing the application, when you will fill the application form on the CDP portal, you have to mention your exporter name, but exporter name will be selected automatically from the drop-down menu once you register on the CDP portal. I will explain how to register. Then one application number or certification number will be automatically generated. Then manufacturer name, address, and country you have to mention. Then importer or consignee name, address, and country you have to mention. Then transport detail, by whether it is by air or by sea or by road, you have to mention. Then item number, marks, and numbers, number and kind of the packages, and description of the goods, HS tariff classifications, number of your goods you have to mention. Then the origin criteria, जो मैंने PSR में दिखाया, in the column of the PSR, that is the origin criteria. In case of the wholly obtained goods, the origin criteria will be mentioned WO. WO means wholly obtained. And the goods which are not wholly obtained, otherwise they are qualifying as a originating goods in India. For those, the PSR is defined. In case of jewelry, I've taken example of gold jewelry unset, having HS code, say having origin criteria mentioned is CTHS plus 3.5% value VA. That formula will come in this particular box, and in application form, the particular field is provided to enter that value. I will explain how you can enter that. Then gross weight and net weight of your consignment you have to mention, and the invoice number and date, whatever you will mention in the application, that will be reflected in this box. Then other, in the remarks, option is provided whether the certificate is issued retrospectively or at the time of shipment. Normally the certificate should be issued at the time of shipment. In exceptional cases, sometimes if the certificate is not issued within a prescribed time limit, in that case that certificate can be issued retrospectively up to 1 year. And in the next column, your third country invoicing. In case of third country invoicing, you have to mention the third party invoice name, invoicing name, address, and country. Then the next column, declaration by the exporter. You please read this declaration very carefully and understand it. Okay, I understand, declare that the above details and statement are true and accurate. It means you are giving declaration that you have seen all the things and your goods are all the information given above are accurate and true. Then goods described above meet the conditions required for the issuance of this certificate, and the country of origin of the goods described is above is, in our case, it will be India. Then automatically the signature and name of the official who is preparing this certificate will come on this box. And on the other hand side, the certification, it is a language for the certifying officer, certifying authority. It is hereby certified on the basis of the control carried out that the declaration by the exporter is correct. Control, what control we are exercising? We are taking all the documents from your side, like your invoice, packing list, your cost sheet, your working and these all, and all the bill of entries and these all. Or sometimes we also carry out the physical verification to cross-examine the information, whatever you are providing at the time of application. Based upon these two controls measures, we are certifying these consignment and issuing a certificate of origin. And after issuance, after signing of this document, as Reddy sir explained, this document becomes a financial instrument. It becomes like a demand draft issued on behalf of your importer and given to you. And in turn, you have to submit your this certificate well within time to your importer, and the importer will produce this document to the importing customs at the time of clearance of your consignment. Then there are some more conditions related to the certificate of origins. There is no, it should be in English only. It has been defined in the agreement. You can't prepare this document in a Hindi or in other language. Then erasing and overwriting prohibited. There is no erasing and overwriting is allowed. इसमें कोई भी suppose आपका कोई certificate आपने issue करवा लिया और उसमें आपने बाद में देखा कि जिसमें तो कुछ mistake है, ये word ठीक नहीं लिखा है, gross weight कम लिख दिया है, ज़्यादा लिख दिया है, या कुछ और item का कुछ आपने HS code गलत लिख दिया है, whatever, anything. In that case, please do not do any erasing or overwriting on that particular item. In that case, there is a provision. You can apply a in lieu certificate, because in physical form we can correct that and can do a countersign. But in online system, it is not feasible to do a countersign. In that case, there is a provision has been provided in the application to issue a in lieu certificate against the earlier issued certificate after your corrections. There is a provision. I will explain how you can apply that certificate also. And all required details should be filled very clearly to enable the goods to be identified by the importing customs. ऐसा नहीं कि आपने कुछ भी HS कोड उसमें लिख दिया है, कोई डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द गुड्स आपका इनवॉइस से मैच नहीं कर रहा है. ये चीजें you have to take very care at the time of making the application. Then all the certificate of origins are now being issued through the common digital platform, and the link of that common digital platform is COO. Sorry, it is not hyphen, it is .dgft.gov.in with appropriate supporting documents, like you have to upload your invoice, packing list, cost sheet, raw material, bills, and necessary which are necessary to establish the origin of the product. These documents are taken just to identify whether your product is meeting the rule of origin or whether your product is originating in India or not. But in this agreement, although we are taking the cost sheet in our prescribed format, although in this case, this agreement prescribing one annexer, one cost sheet format, this one, annexer 3A, which is provided in the agreement itself, basically you have to provide the information in this format. You can provide a cost sheet just for ease of doing business, but you also need to produce this document at the time of exportation. Otherwise, case may happen at the time of post verification. Importing customs may ask this document, and in that case, we have to show this document to the importing customs. But if it is not available in the documents, then it will be a non-compliance. So you please go through this document. This document contains all the information which I have explained in the cost sheet, but they have prescribed their format.
एक बार कुलदीप जी इसको जरा दोबारा दिखा देंगे, ये जो annexure 3A है.
जी सर.
ये जरा let everyone see.
इसमें आप देखेंगे कि आपका नेम एंड एड्रेस ऑफ द प्रोड्यूसर, मैन्युफैक्चरर और एक्सपोर्टर का आता है. देन रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर, आपका जो DGFT से रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर आएगा, दैट रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर यू कैन मेंशन. देन कंट्री ऑफ ओरिजिन आपका इंडिया रहेगा. देन एक्सपोर्ट वाइज जनरल इंफॉर्मेशन वो मांगते हैं कि डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द गुड्स टू बी एक्सपोर्टेड, देन मॉडल ब्रांड क्या है उसका, देन HS कोड क्या है, FOB वैल्यू या एक्सपोर्ट प्राइस क्या है उसका, जो कि आपके इनवॉइस में सब अवेलेबल रहता है. देन गुड्स वाइज ब्रेकअप, जो मैं आपको बता रहा था, गुड्स वाइज ब्रेकअप होना चाहिए. To be furnished for each good listed in the para 4. जो आपने ऊपर जितनी गुड्स मेंशन किए हैं, सपोज से बैंगल है, फिर आपका ब्रेसलेट है, से रिंग है, for all different items this detail need to be provided. In this you can see in the first column description of the component materials, inputs, part or produce. In second column you can see quantity and unit, कितना क्वांटिटी यूज किया और कितना यूनिट क्या उसके, आप ग्राम्स में ले रहे हैं या आप केजी में ले रहे हैं, whatever is the unit you have to mention. Then unit CIF value क्या है. In this case, in each and every agreement, the imported value we have to take the CIF value, the value which is mentioned in the your bill of entries. If that bill of entry is not available, the last ascertained value can be taken as a CIF value. Then total CIF value कितना है आपका, and quantity multiplied by unit value आ जाएगा. Then HS code at 6-digit level you have to mention for each imported raw material. Then you have to mention the supplier name and address as well. Then country of origin of the component materials, inputs, part and produce. If it is available, then you mention the country name. Suppose say you are importing gold from the Africa, South Africa, you can mention the South Africa. If it is not known, then you have to mention unknown or undetermined. आप उसमें लिख सकते हैं. Then total value of the non originating material, जैसे मैंने अपनी कोस्ट शीट में दिखाया है, वो सेम तरह का चीज आपको यहाँ पे भी मेंशन करना रहता है. तो वो सेम कैलकुलेशन है, just format is different little bit. Then labor cost क्या है आपका, overhead cost क्या है, then profit क्या है. These all things you have to mention in the table. Then in column H, as the entry shall be made to indicate the country of origin in terms of the rules of origin as one of the following: India or UAE. Basically, when you're preparing a question in India, in that case, you have to mention India. One second, just. Country of origin of the component used. In case, suppose you are using some imported raw materials from say UAE, in that case you can mention UAE. If it is Indian, then you have to mention India, or if it is unknown, then you have to mention unknown. India, UAE, and non-originating material. Then calculation: value of non-originating material used in the production as a percentage of FOB value or export price, or a value of originating material as a percentage of FOB value, export price, originating and non-originating. It depends upon which formula you are using. Then description of the manufacturing process. Basically, sometimes they are also asking the manufacturing process. Okay, what is the process diagram for your process diagram for your goods to be manufactured? Then declaration: I declare that the information provided by me as above is true and correct. The same given in the certificate itself, and I will permit, as and when required, inspection of our factory product and undertake to maintain up-to-date costing records. You have to maintain all the records of your production, and this record has to be maintained for 5 years. The condition is provided, I will show in the agreement itself. These record you have to maintain for 5 years. And then the same document need to be countersigned by the EIA official or certifying authority. The particular given above have been checked and verified by the records maintained by the applicant and found to be correct. On the strength of this evidence, the applicant is eligible to claim that the product have originated from India as shown in serial number 3 above, in terms of the provision of the rules of origin of the agreement. That's why I'm explaining the rules of origin first, then we will explain the procedure for certification. And official certifying official have also signed and stamped this document. Is it all clear? Now next is the multiple item. As I explained, if there are multiple items, then item declared on the same CO shall be allowed, provided that each item must qualify separately in its own right. Issuing authority may carry out a pre-export verification of the minimum required information filled by the exporter manufacturer, and the verification includes methods such as obtaining the detailed cost sheet. We may ask the certifying authority may ask a more document if the provided document are not clear or not giving a clear picture about the originating of the product, or may conduct a physical verification visiting in the factory. And certificate to be issued only if the good meets the rule of origin. Otherwise, the certifying officer inform you that your goods are not meeting the rule of origin, so certificate cannot be issued. And the certifying authority will verify whether the rules of origin are met, and these are the two methods as I explained. First is the documentary verification, and second is a cross examination of the documentary proof you have provided. That is called a physical verification by visiting in a production site or factory or the place where consignment available. It is normally preferred the factory and the production site. Then the certificate of origin shall be issued prior to or within 5 working days from the date of exportation. Certificate is valid once it is issued for 12 months and can be taken on retrospectively within 12 months from the date of shipment. In exceptional circumstances, it should not be a practice. In case you have to provide a genuine reason. Due to this particular reason, you could not be able to take the certificate at the time of exportation, and in that case, the certifying authority may accept your request and issue a certificate within 12 months, but not beyond that. And one consignment should have one certificate, and as I told, these all documents need to be maintained for 5 years. And there are some special provisions. Under the special provisions, there is one bilateral cumulation is provided in the agreement. Bilateral cumulation means suppose you are importing something from say UAE and you are using suppose same product, same raw material to manufacture some goods in India, and again you are exporting to the UAE. In that case, the final process should occur in India. In that case only your process will be qualifying and your product will be qualified as a originating in India. There are some neutral elements involved while preparing your consignment, while manufacturing the goods. It may include the power, fuel, plant, material used, which are not intended to remain in the product. Basically, these things are not part of the finished goods, but they are required to prepare a finished goods. And these values of are not taken into account while determining the origin of the product. They are not considered. Suppose you are using some imported machine. In that case, that machine is not counted as a raw material in that case. Then unit of consideration, each article in a shipment is considered separately for the purpose of the origin. Then another rule is also provided, that de minimis rules. De minimis rules you can understand this way. For jewelry items, the provision is given the CTHS plus value addition, whatever it is, 3%, 4%, or 7%. CTHS means there should be a change in tariff subheading of what? Of the imported raw material from the finished goods. In some cases, it may happen that the imported raw material and the finished good HS code is same. But as per the PSR, that particular finished good will not qualify. But there is some relaxation is given in the form of de minimis rules. In such case, 10% of the FOB value of that product is allowed. So this is called a de minimis rule. But in case of the clothing and textile, by weight is also allowed. 7% of the total weight of the material used in the product is allowed of the same heading. Another clause is also provided, is very confusing. In the wholly obtained products, presence of the non-originating material shall be ignored provided it does not exceed 1% of the FOB value. I'm not very clear about in wholly obtained goods how the 1% of the imported value is allowed. I have to take some clarification. Then minimal operations, or you can say the insufficient operations, are prescribed in the agreements. And if only you are performing these operations, in that case also your goods will not qualify as a originating in India and not eligible for the issuance of the certificate of origin. Like suppose you are importing something and just you are preserving, or just you are cleaning, grading and mixing, simple blending and assembling, packing, making, attaching of accessories in textiles, like just label aapne laga diya. In that case, these are the few non-qualifying operations, or these are called the minimum operations. And when you are imported something, some imported raw materials, if you are using in your final production, your operations on the imported goods should be beyond these operations. In that case only your good will qualify for the preferential treatment and for the issuance of the certificate of origin. Then non-qualifying operations, dilution that does not materially alter the characteristics of the product. Simple आप dilution करते हैं नमक और पानी का, then it is a simple dilution. That operation is not qualifying. And bilateral accumulation I already explained. Then packages, packing material and the containers. Packing materials and containers for retail sale, when classified with the product according to the Rule 5B of the General Rule of Interpretation of the HS, have to be disregarded in determining the product. Their value, however, is to be taken into consideration while computing the value addition. यदि सपोज आप कोई पैकिंग मटेरियल ऐसा यूज कर रहे हैं जिसका एचएस कोड कुछ भी हो सकता है, या इंपोर्टेड हो सकता है, इन दैट केस, in case of value addition calculation, you have to add that value of that particular packing material, but it should not be considered as imported in that case. Containers and packing material exclusively used for transport, shipment of the product are not to be taken into account for determining the origin of the product. And value addition, one clause is also provided in the agreement. Value addition can be calculated based on the FOB value as well as on the ex-work price. But when you are calculating the value addition based on the ex-work price, the limit for value addition will be 5% percentage points less than the value when calculated based on the FOB basis. Suppose value addition is required, say 40%. In case of when you are calculating based on the FOB value. But when you are calculating your value addition based on the ex-work price, in that case, your value addition should be, limit will become the 35% instead of 40%. In case of accessories, spare parts and tools, standard tools, spare parts and accessories considered necessary for routine working of a product are considered to be originating and a part of the product. Their value, however, is to be taken into the consideration while computing the value addition. But suppose such parts are there, then they are not considered as a non-originating. Then there are some fungible materials, fungible materials and parts that perform same function and difficult to segregate visually. Then suitable inventory management system should be employed for management of such materials based on the generally accepted accounting practice. Prior authorization by the competent authority required for method of managing stocks of fungible goods or material, and certification during the financial year to be restricted to the quantity of the finished product that would consume the fungible materials that were found to be originating. And basically, if you have such materials in your factory, first thing you have to keep a separate record of those, and you have to keep a record of their uses in your consignment, so that at later stage, suppose some verification happens, in that case you can prove which material you have used in your final productions. Sometimes one case was there under verification, where exporter was unable to prove that which material they have used in their final production, as they are not maintaining the fungible material in a separate storage area. Then some neutral elements already explained, the unit of consideration. Then there are some obligations on the exporters. The first one is the exporter and manufacturer shall submit the minimum required information as referred in the paragraph 1B of article 3.17 and supporting documents for the issuance of CO. Any exporter producer who falsely represents any material information relevant to the determination of the origin of the product shall be liable to be penalized under law and regulation of the exporting party. Next is shall keep the minimum required information as referred, as I also explained earlier. These information need to be maintained for the 5 years, and shall keep the appropriate commercial accounting records for the production and supply of the product at least for 5 years from the date of issue of the CO, and make available such records to the competent authority to enable verification of the origin of the product as and when required. Shall not deny any request for verification visit agreed between the competent authority of the exporting party and the competent authority of the importing party. If such a request comes from the importing customs, in that case, definitely you have to allow the visit of the importing customs as well the Indian authorities to visit your factory and to check your records. Shall undertake to notify the issuing authority and custom authorities and importer of any change that could affect its accuracy or validity. Whatever information you are providing, if there is any change in that case, you have to inform to the respective authorities. Then these are the issuing authority in India which can issue the certificate of origin, and EIC and EIAs are authorized for all the products, and MPDA is allowed for the marine product. And spice board, choir board, all the SEZs are also allowed to issue the certificate of origin under this agreement for all the products by units in the SEZs or EOU located within that their jurisdiction. Then DGFT is also allowed for all the products to issue the certificate of origin. Tobacco board is also allowed to issue the certificate of origin for tobacco and tobacco products. And APIDA is also allowed to issue a certificate of origin for the agricultural product. Now, this is all about the rule of origin. Now, I will explain the operational part, how you can prepare application, how you can apply a certificate of origin. Up to this, is it clear? Okay,
I think आप carry on करिए, बता दें.
Okay. Okay. Now, first is the registration on a common digital platform. As informed earlier, all the certificates since 2020 or 19 are being issued through a common digital platform. The platform which is designed by the DOC and it is used by all the certifying authorities. For registration, one procedure is provided on the common digital platform itself, and that procedure is the first. There are some important instructions, and important instructions are first of all, you must have digital signature, either it may be type 2 or type 3, and containing IEC available with them, and install the DSC software on your system. Then second, and must because this application is a Java based application, and in this case to use this application you have to install a Java on your system on which you want to use this application. Then after installing the Java, go to the program menu and search Java and open that, and redirect to the security tab. And next tab is edit site. This is the path, basically this is a procedure through which you can set your browser so that you can access this application properly on your system. If you are facing some problem in this this particular point, you can call a customer desk. They will help you out. They may take your system on remote and they will set your browser so that you will not face any problem. Then this is the site. When you open that URL, this is the common digital platform. The URL is coo.dgft.gov.in. On this, you can see there are three options. One is online services on the left-hand side, and on between there is an overview of this site, and on other side there is a notifications. First, I will explain the notification. Under notification, one manual is provided for the exporters. Kindly download this manual and just go through this manual. Then one manual for registration is also provided, and this first manual is for the exporter to apply, how you can apply the applications. Then for any inquiry, you can send a mail on coo-dgft@gov.in. In case of any query, you can send a mail over this. They will definitely reply back to you. And please do mention your contact details. Sometimes it is not feasible to reply back on the email, and it is not even feasible to explain the procedure on the email. So it is better you please mention your contact details so that the customer care person can call you and guide you properly. Then another FAQ is also provided, frequently asked questions. There are few questions which normally comes in mind while proceeding for applying on the portal. Those clarifications have been provided on the portal itself. Just kindly go through those frequently asked questions. Then on the left hand side, you can see online services. First, you have to register. After registration, you can log in your application, and the registration and login page is same. I will explain how it is. Then in next page, when you click on this particular first option, online exporter register or login. When you click on this option, you will get a next window like this. On this window, if you are a new exporter, then you have to click on the registration process, registration. Or if you already registered on this portal, if you already have a user ID and password, then definitely you have to put your username, then password and the captcha. After this, just press on the click button, and you can see your window, your home page. If you are a new exporter and you are registering your application, your company first time, then you have to press on this registration button, and after pressing on this registration button, you will get a next window. In the next window, you have to put your IC code, 10-digit IC code you have to put, and you have to press on the fetch button. But remember, your IC code should, your DSC should be available on the system. You have to attach the DSC on your system at that moment. Then fetch this information. The system will fetch your all the IC detail, whatever you have provided at the time of registration of the IC. That detail will come on this page. IC number, then registered mobile number, email ID, and after going through these terms and conditions, you have to agree on bottom of this page. After going through these all, you have to scroll down this page, because if you directly go down, you will not get this I agree button. You have to scroll down this window, then only you will get this I agree button. Then आपको इसको क्लिक करना है. जैसे ही आप इसको क्लिक करेंगे, क्लिक करने के बाद आपके पास आपका इंफॉर्मेशन आ जाएगा, आपका आईसी कोड आएगा, आपका कंपनी का नाम आ जाएगा, आपके जितने भी डायरेक्टर्स हैं या डिटेल जिसका दिया हुआ है, नेम, एड्रेस एंड देयर मोबाइल नंबर वगैरह सब इसमें आ जाएगा, ईमेल आईडी एंड रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस एंड दिस ऑल. The system will also show the different branches. Suppose a company have 10 branches, then system will show all the 10 branches and their addresses, but you have to mention the correct GST number against the each branch. Sometimes it happens exporters are just putting some simple characters or alphanumeric number in that, and it creates a problem at the time of GST return. Because MIS will be in MIS, whatever you will put here, that information will be displayed in the MIS, GST MIS, and when EIA or any authority going to file their GST return on the portal, then system will not accept that wrong GST number. So it is requested कि while at the time of registration, everyone should put a correct GST number. And if you are already registered, kindly edit your wrong detail and correct it to get a correct GST receipt and refund as well. Then after this, you have to submit all the information, and after submission, जैसे ही आप submit button इसमें submit करेंगे, click करेंगे, you will get a message like this कि thank you for online registration from DOC web portal, and your registration number is this, like this. This message you will get. So this is all the registration process. ये registration process होने के बाद, suppose you get a registration number, and then after getting a registration number, you have to go on the home page of the site, and you have to put your user ID and password and captcha, and then you come on the home page of the application. In this way, after putting your user ID and password, the home page will look like this. And I will show more. I think now it is visible. On home page, there are various options provided. One is the application for certificate of origin option, under which there are multiple options provided. One is apply for the certificate of origin, a list of draft applications, list of submitted applications, and application pending for payment. First, you have to click on the apply for certificate of origin. सबसे पहले आपको अप्लाई करना है. जैसे आप अप्लाई पे क्लिक करेंगे तो यू विल गेट वन अनदर विंडो. दूसरा ऑप्शन पे क्लिक करेंगे तो यू विल गेट all the application list of all the application which you have already submitted, and if you have prepared some draft application as well, you will see your draft applications, and application will only finally submitted when you make a payment. Okay. Initially you can prepare your draft application, then after reviewing of the draft, you can submit your application finally and make a payment, and your application will be submitted to the respective competent authority, certifying authority, which you have selected from the in the application. I will show how you can select it. Now after this, suppose you have clicked on the apply for certificate of origin, first option. when you click on the first option, you will get this window. In this window, you can see on the top, apply for certificate of origin. There will be two options. One is the preferential and second is hybrid, that is a non-preferential. You can apply for both type of the certificate of origin, preferential as well as the non-preferential. You might be knowing difference between the preferential and non-preferential. Preferential is a preferential certificate is a certificate on which your importer will get a duty benefit in simple terms. जिस पे ड्यूटी बेनिफिट मिलता है उसको आप प्रेफरेंशियल सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन बोलते हैं, और जिस पे कोई ड्यूटी बेनिफिट नहीं मिलता है, जस्ट कन्वीनियंस के लिए कई बार हम यूज करते हैं, उसको हम नॉन प्रेफरेंशियल सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन बोलते हैं. Then after selecting when you are applying the India UAE application, when you are filing a application under India UAE, in that case you have to select the preferential scheme. Okay, it is a preferential scheme, not non-preferential. After selecting of this, you have to select the from the drop down option type of the agreement. All the agreements which India has signed are available on this portal. You have to select the India UAE agreement.
कुलदीप ये सिंपल लैंग्वेज में हिंदी में नहीं बोल सकते ये चीज
सर? बोल सकते हैं जी सर.
Then we have to audience into consideration ना.
तो इसमें हमने प्रेफरेंशियल स्कीम को सिलेक्ट करना है, और नीचे जो एरो दिया हुआ है, इस एरो के अंदर जैसे आप इस पे क्लिक करेंगे, एरो पे ये इस पे क्लिक करते ही आपको एक लिस्ट मिलेगा. उस लिस्ट में सभी से एग्रीमेंट के नाम दिए हुए हैं, एंड आपको इंडिया यूएई एग्रीमेंट सिलेक्ट करना होगा. देन यू हैव टू, आपको दूसरा जो ऑप्शन है वेदर सीओ रिक्वेस्ट बिफोर और आफ्टर. जैसे मैंने बताया कि सर्टिफिकेट जो ओरिजिन है आप एट द टाइम ऑफ शिपमेंट भी ले सकते हैं, शिपमेंट के टाइम पे भी ले सकते हैं, और आफ्टर शिपमेंट भी ले सकते हैं. तो जब आप शिपमेंट होने से पहले सर्टिफिकेट अप्लाई करते हैं तो आपको सिलेक्ट करना होता है बिफोर शिपमेंट. और यदि शिपमेंट आपका चला गया है और उस पर 5 दिन भी हो गए, जैसे मैंने बताया कि ये सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन टाइम ऑफ शिपमेंट पर भी आप ले सकते हैं और विद इन 5 वर्किंग डेज तक ले सकते हैं. यदि आपके 5 वर्किंग डेज कंप्लीट नहीं हुए हैं तब भी आपको बिफोर शिपमेंट ही सिलेक्ट करना है. और इन केस यदि 5 वर्किंग डेज आपके हो चुके हैं फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ शिपमेंट, उस केस में आपको आफ्टर शिपमेंट ही सिलेक्ट करना होगा. देन आपको इसके बाद इशूइंग एजेंसीज के ऊपर क्लिक करना है, और आपको पूरा लिस्ट मिलेगा. जितने भी इंडिया में इशूइंग एजेंसीज हैं उनका लिस्ट मिलेगा आपको. उस लिस्ट से आपको पर्टिकुलर जिस पे आप अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं, या ये दिल्ली जैसे अप्लाई करना चाह रहे हैं, दिल्ली का आपको लिस्ट नाम मिलेगा, आपको ये दिल्ली सिलेक्ट करना होगा. यानी यदि बॉम्बे में आप अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं, बॉम्बे सिलेक्ट करना होगा. सपोज बॉम्बे के अंदर भी आप किसी सब रीजनल ऑफिस में अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं, तो देन बॉम्बे से पहले सिलेक्ट करिए, उसके बाद नीचे आप रीजनल ऑफिस का लिस्ट आएगा, पर्टिकुलर उस एजेंसी के अंदर जो रीजनल ऑफिस हैं उसमें से आपको एक सिलेक्ट करना है. देन सब्सिक्वेंटली आपको यूजिंग ऑफिस मिल जाएगा, इसमें आपको सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे. देन आफ्टर सिलेक्टिंग ये जो तीनों चीजें सिलेक्ट करने के बाद आपको सिलेक्ट करना है कि वेदर द एक्सपोर्टर want to the issued certificate by post or not. इसमें एक ऑप्शन दिया हुआ है एक्सपोर्टर एंड पे, यदि आपको साइंड कॉपी ऑफ इशूड सर्टिफिकेट, तो सर्टिफिकेट इशू हो जाएगा. उसकी यदि साइंड कॉपी कई बार कोई इंपोर्टिंग कस्टम मांगता है, अदरवाइज तो आप सर्टिफिकेट आपको पीडीएफ फॉर्म में आपके सिस्टम पे रहता है, आपके लॉगिन में रहता है, वहां से आप डाउनलोड करके भी दे सकते हैं. इट इज ए डिजिटली सेंड सर्टिफिकेट. और इनकेस यदि आपका बायर कहता है कि मेरे को फिजिकली साइंड सर्टिफिकेट भी चाहिए और दोनों ही चाहिए, उस केस में आप रिक्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं. और इसमें आपको ऑप्शन सिलेक्ट करना होगा. उसका एक अलग से चार्ज भी लगता है, सिस्टम शो करेगा लास्ट में कितना चार्ज उसका रहता है. देन आपका डिटेल आ जाएगा इसमें. जैसे ही आप ऊपर से सिलेक्ट करेंगे, आपका ये जो एक्सपोर्टर नेम, कंट्री एंड एड्रेस, ये बाय डिफॉल्ट आ जाएगा. बट आपके सपोज मल्टीपल एड्रेसेज हैं, तो उनमें से एक एड्रेस आपको सिलेक्ट करना होगा. यहाँ से आप ड्रॉप डाउन से आप इसको एक पर्टिकुलर एड्रेस जिस पे आप सर्टिफिकेट बनवाना चाहते हैं, दैट सर्टिफिकेट यू कैन टेक, दैट एड्रेस यू कैन चूज. देन यू हैव टू पुट द इंपोर्टर नेम, कंट्री एंड एड्रेस. आपको इंपोर्टर का नाम लिखना है, देन कंट्री का नाम चूज करना है लिस्ट ड्रॉप डाउन लिस्ट से, और एड्रेस लिखना है. एक चीज में ध्यान रखिएगा कि जब आप कंट्री का नाम ऊपर सिलेक्ट कर लेते हैं कंट्री के फील्ड में, एड्रेस का जब आप एड्रेस लिखते हैं तो एड्रेस में कंट्री नाम दोबारा से मत लिखिएगा. अदरवाइज क्या होगा, ये कंट्री का नाम तो वहां पे कंसाइनिंग बॉक्स में लिखा आएगा ही, और एड्रेस के साथ जो कंट्री का नाम लिखा हुआ है वो 2 बार वहां पे डिस्प्ले होगा, 2 बार प्रिंट होगा सर्टिफिकेट में. वो अच्छा नहीं लगता है. तो इट इज बेटर कि आप यहाँ पे एड्रेस के अंदर केवल कंसाइनी एड्रेस लिखिए विदाउट कंट्री नेम, रेस्ट यू कैन पुट ऑल। देन ये डिटेल सब भरने के बाद आपको प्रोडक्ट का डिटेल भरना रहता है। प्रोडक्ट का डिटेल आप भरेंगे, सपोज आपका पहला प्रोडक्ट है, उसका एचएस कोड आपने डाला, देन उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन डाल दिया, फिर आपको उसकी क्वांटिटी कितना है, उसका यूनिट क्या है आप सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे ड्रॉप डाउन से, देन उसकी एफओबी वैल्यू कितना है, देन एफओबी वैल्यू ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट अब डिफरेंट करेंसी में है तो उसका डालना होगा, देन आईएनआर वैल्यू यदि इक्विवेलेंट है तो आप इक्विवेलेंट डाल सकते हैं उसमें, एंड यू हैव टू पुट, बेसिकली डाल नहीं सकते, डालना है, एंड दैट इज अ मैंडेटरी फील्ड। जैसे ही आप सेव करेंगे, ये जो इन्फॉर्मेशन सेव करेंगे आपका नेक्स्ट पेज पर आ जाएगा जिसमें आपका नहीं ओके प्रोडक्ट डिटेल। जैसे ही आप ये प्रोडक्ट डिटेल यहाँ सबमिट करेंगे, दैट विल बी सेव्ड इन द सिस्टम, एंड नेक्स्ट डिटेल यू नीड टू बी पुट, आई विल शो द नेक्स्ट डिटेल, कहाँ गया इसमें, that page not there. I will explain that page later on. After putting these all detail in next page, that page is not there. You will find one field, the origin criterion value and origin criteria. There are two fields. One is the origin criteria. और इन ओरिजिन क्राइटेरिया आपको दो ऑप्शन वहां मिलते हैं, WO इन केस ऑफ ये इंडिया यूएई केस, WO आपको यदि आपका प्रोडक्ट होली ऑब्टेन्ड है तो आपको WO सिलेक्ट करना है, और आपका प्रोडक्ट यदि WO नहीं है वहां पे PSR का ऑप्शन मिलता है, PSR आपको सिलेक्ट करना है। जैसे ही आप PSR सिलेक्ट करते हैं उसमें पूछता है व्हाट इज द ओरिजिन क्राइटेरियन वैल्यू। तो ओरिजिन क्राइटेरियन वैल्यू में जैसे एक एग्जांपल हमने लिया था कि गोल्ड ज्वेलरी का, जिसके अंदर ओरिजिन क्राइटेरियन वैल्यू क्या है, CTHS प्लस 3.5 वैल्यू एडिशन VA। तो वो कंप्लीट फॉर्मूला आपको उस फील्ड में आपको डालना है, और वो एज इट इज आपका सर्टिफिकेट में डिस्प्ले होगा। मैं दिखाऊंगा कैसे होगा। Then after this, in this box, complete detail will be come here under the goods description, marks and numbers you have to put, then HS code classification, then number, preference criteria जो मैं अभी बता रहा था, preference criteria, इसमें आपके ऑप्शन मिलते हैं WO और PSR। जैसे ही आप PSR सेलेक्ट करते हैं तो you have to put the preference criterion area value CTHS plus CTHS plus 3.5 VA in case of gold jewelry unset, and depending upon your product you have to check what origin criterion is applicable for your product. Then you have to put your quantity, unit and invoice number, and these all detail come from the first window. After filling of these all detail, you have to enclose the documents. You have to upload the scanned clearly readable documents, and in drop down you will see the one is the invoice, packing list, cost sheet and the raw material bills. These all documents you can upload one by one, and after uploading of these all documents you can put any remark if you would like to put any remarks, exporter remarks. Otherwise just you have to put the place, your signature, digital signature yes karna hai, then you have to put your name and designation. And prior to that, this information is not applicable in case of India UAE. You will not find this particular two box in India UAE, because this is a generic application. It is applicable for all the agreements, but in other cases you have to fill these two field also. जैसे ही आप एप्लीकेशन सबमिट करेंगे, आपका एप्लीकेशन सबमिट होने के बाद इस तरह का विंडो आपके पास आएगा। आफ्टर सबमिशन सिस्टम विल शो द ऑर्डर समरी, कि आपने क्या ऑर्डर किया है, क्या आपने सबमिट किया, उसका बिल कितना है, सर्टिफिकेट की फीस कितना, कौन सा सर्टिफिकेट आपने अप्लाई किया है, इंडिया यूएई आ जाएगा EIA की जगह, देन कौन सी एजेंसी में आपने अप्लाई किया है, देन उसका अमाउंट कितना है, GST कितना है, कंप्लीट कैलकुलेशन विल बी शोन ऑन द स्क्रीन, एंड यू हैव टू प्रोसीड फॉर द पेमेंट। आफ्टर मेकिंग दिस पेमेंट, your application, you will get a message like this, your application reference number this has been successfully submitted, और पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट का नाम जहां पे आपने एप्लीकेशन सबमिट किया है, you will get that name here and your application will be submitted. जैसे ही आप एप्लीकेशन सबमिट करते हैं, your application will be moved to the login window of the EIS. Then EIS process your application, and the application will be assigned to a particular officer, and a particular officer will be processing your application. आपका application process किया जाएगा, उसमें suppose कुछ discrepancy है, तो that discrepancy will be reported through the system only. Officer will write the comment and observations, and accordingly आपको उसको पढ़ के उसको ठीक से correct करना है. यदि कोई correction is required, if कोई document upload करना, the document you have to upload. After making these all corrections or uploading of the document if required, then आपको इसको दोबारा से resubmit करना है. जैसे ही resubmit करेंगे तो application आपको officer के पास पहुंच जाएगा, and officer will again examine that application. After examining that application, if it is found in order, then certificate will be issued from the officer side. जैसे ही certificate issued हो जाएगा, you can download from your login window, and signature, sometimes physical signature is not required. Then that certificate will be a digitally signed certificate, and as it is certificate you can share with your importer, and importer in turn give that certificate to the importing customs along with your consignment, and then consignment will be cleared at the port, and the applicable duty on that particular consignment will be waived off or reduced to some extent, whatever is the case. This is the procedure through which you can apply the certificate of origins. After submission, you will see the detail like this, detail of the application. In this format, you can see in your login. Suppose officer have raised some discrepancy, and you can see your application in your login, and you will find a edit button. Suppose you have to correct something, then you press on the edit button, your complete application will be displayed on the screen, and you can edit the information or add or delete the information as per the discrepancy raised by the certifying officer. And again, you have to resubmit. And then you can also see the applications which are pending for the payment, and you can make a payment for those applications. Initially, as I told you, you can prepare a draft application before final submission. And if you wish to submit your draft application, then you just go in the list of the draft application, and you can view it, view the application form, you can view the documents, and then you can press on the make payment button if you wish to finally submit your application. These are the options all available in your login window. Another option, in case suppose you got issued one certificate, and at a later stage you find there are some corrections, उसमें कुछ आपने लगा कि कुछ इसमें डिस्क्रिप्शन सही नहीं है, या आपका क्वांटिटी आपने गलत लिख दिया है, या आपने एड्रेस गलत, या डिस्क्रिप्शन में कुछ मिस्टेक हो गया है, या आपने कोई किसी पर्टिकुलर फील्ड में आपने गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन डाल दिया. If you want to correct that, and after issuance you can't correct that information in the issued certificate, आपके लिए इसमें ऑप्शन दिया हुआ है in lieu का ऑप्शन, एक है डुप्लीकेट, यू कैन से डुप्लीकेट सर्टिफिकेट. जैसे ही आप उस पर डुप्लीकेट सर्टिफिकेट पर क्लिक करेंगे, अप्लाई फॉर द डुप्लीकेट और इन लिeu सर्टिफिकेट, तो आफ्टर क्लिकिंग ऑन दिस you will get the list of certificates in your window, and you have to select a particular agreement if you are taking the certificate for the multiple schemes. Then after selecting a particular certificate against which you want to take the in lieu certificate, उसको आपको select करना है in lieu जिसके against आपको लेना है. Then you have to apply action. Apply में आप जब जाएंगे, वो application आपके सामने खुलेगा जैसे मैंने पहले दिखाया है. The complete application you can see, and you can edit the respective field or upload the documents and remove the documents like that. And after making all the corrections, you can resubmit. But in this case, another thing is you have to make a fresh payment for the in lieu application. So after making that payment, the new application will be generated, and your previous application get inactive. Remember that sometimes what happens, you got आपने एक सर्टिफिकेट इशू करवा लिया, सर्टिफिकेट इशू करवाने के बाद आपने एक इन लिeu सर्टिफिकेट भी इसको अप्लाई कर दिया ड्यू टू से कंफ्यूजन ओवर द शिपमेंट डेट. आपने इन लिeu सर्टिफिकेट इशू करवा लिया, बट बाद में आपको पता चला कि मेरा तो पहला सर्टिफिकेट ही सही था, और आपने पहला सर्टिफिकेट ही कस्टम में सबमिट करवा दिया. Then custom, when they verify that certificate from the system, they can verify that certificate status from the home window of the screen by putting that certificate number mentioned on the top of the certificate. तो उसके बाद क्या होगा कि ऑफिसर को जो भी ऑफिसर्स को वेरीफाई कर रहा होगा उसको दिखाएगा इनएक्टिव, स्टेटस ऑफ योर सर्टिफिकेट विल बी इनएक्टिव, बिकॉज आपने उसके अगेंस्ट कोई एक नया सर्टिफिकेट अप्लाई कर दिया है। तो इसलिए प्लीज रिमेंबर कि यदि आप इनल्यू सर्टिफिकेट सपोज आपने ले लिया है तो आप इनल्यू ही सबमिट करिए, अदरवाइज पहला सर्टिफिकेट आपका एक्सेप्ट नहीं होगा इफ द इंपोर्टिंग कस्टम वेरीफाई द डिटेल फ्रॉम द सिस्टम। Otherwise, from the certificate, it is not visible, but from the status from the online system, they can very easily verify whether this certificate is a authentic or whether this certificate is a active or not, valid or not. Not active, but is a valid or not valid. Then you can choose the different document, upload the documents, and put your reason. When you are resubmitting your application after the corrections, when you are replying to the discrepancies, in that case you please also mention the reasons, or you also mention the whether you have corrected and what you have corrected, so that officer times can be saved. He will then, although he will verify the complete application once again, but if you mention the clear line कि आपने ये कहा था ये मेरे को ठीक करना, तो मैंने ये ठीक कर दिया, इसी फील्ड में मैंने ये चीज करेक्ट कर दिया है, या ये डॉक्यूमेंट नया अपलोड किया है। तो कई बार होता है क्या पुराना डॉक्यूमेंट डिलीट कर देते हैं, नया डॉक्यूमेंट अपलोड कर देते हैं, उससे भी ऑफिसर का फिर वो पूरा डिटेल दे हैव टू अगेन वेरीफाई, और अगेन वो क्वेरी जनरेट हो जाता है कि पहले आपने एक डॉक्यूमेंट लगाया था, अभी आप दूसरा डॉक्यूमेंट लगा रहे हैं। तो अवॉइड सच ऑल कंफ्यूजन्स व्हाइल रिप्लाइंग टू द क्वेरीज, आपको बहुत ही ध्यान से बड़े तरीके से आपको रिप्लाई करना चाहिए टू सेव द टाइम एट योर लेवल एज वेल एज द सर्टिफाइंग ऑफिसर लेवल। I think this is all about how you can apply the certificate of origin. मेरे पास किसी एक्सपोर्टर का लॉगिन नहीं है, अदरवाइज मैं आपको लाइव भी दिखा सकता हूँ। तो and this is our website, and on the website you can see the people directory. If you are not able to contact any office, you can see the particular office number from the website under the people directory, and you can call them or send an email. And this is our EIC network from where you can take the certificate of origins from all over India. And this is all about the rule of origin and certification procedures. Now, if you have exporter have any query, please ask the queries. I will try to reply to the queries.
Thank you very much, कुलदीप जी, आपने बहुत अच्छे और बड़े विस्तार से सब कुछ समझाया। But there are still some queries of some of our members. एक तो ये, जैसे आपने कहा कि ऑनलाइन अप्लाई करना है, तो अगर कोई छोटी जगह में है और वहां से ऑनलाइन नहीं कर सकता, तो इज इट पॉसिबल कि हार्ड कॉपी देके फिजिकल फॉर्मेट में जमा करे?
नहीं सर, it is mandatory to take a certificate of origin through CDP only. Manual are not allowed.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify, mandatory.
जी सर।
और एक ये है कि जैसे कि वो डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे रजिस्टर किया और फिर चूज किया कि एक्सपोर्ट इंस्पेक्शन एजेंसी में करना है, तो कोई बॉम्बे में है तो वो दिल्ली से भी ले सकता है सर्टिफिकेट, या उसको बॉम्बे से लेना पड़ेगा?
सर देखो, ले सकता है कहीं से भी, ऑल ओवर इंडिया कहीं से भी ले सकता है, बट इट इज एडवाइजेबल और नियरेस्ट ऑफिस में भी अप्लाई करता है तो वेरिफिकेशन ये करना होगा, या कोई डॉक्यूमेंट में कोई क्लैरिटी नहीं है, सपोज इन कारणवश लगता है कि क्वेरी को क्लियर करना इजी होगा।
हाँ, इजी रहेगा,
लॉजिस्टिकली वो इजी रहेगा, वो ज्यादा बेटर होगा कि आप नियरेस्ट ऑफिस में करेंगे तो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा। अदरवाइज यू कैन एक्सपोर्टर कैन टेक द सर्टिफिकेट फ्रॉम एनी ऑफ द ऑफिस।
अच्छा, दूसरा आपने बताया कि जब वो ऑनलाइन अप्लाई करेगा सीडीपी पे और वहां से EIC सिलेक्ट करेगा, तो ऑटोमेटिक एप्लीकेशन विल पास ऑन टू दैट ऑफिस और वहां पर किसी ऑफिसर को मार्क हो जाएगी।
जी। तो
कितने टाइम में वो फिर सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन इशू हो जाएगा? सपोज आज सवेरे किसी ने अप्लाई किया तो आज ही इशू हो जाएगा, या कुछ उसमें है कि 1 दिन या 2 दिन लगेंगे, या सेम डे इशू होता है? व्हाट इज द सिस्टम या व्हाट इज द प्रोसीजर?
डिफाइंड जो हमारा जो है उसमें हम 24 आवर्स में आपका एप्लीकेशन नॉर्मली वो अटेंड हो जाता है और इशू हो जाता है।
अच्छा, ठीक है जी। Now we have some 8 or 9 questions of various members. I will read. जरा उनका देखिए क्या
जी सर।
है। पहला है मिस्टर कृष्णा जायसवाल, वो कह रहे हैं कि दे आर एक्सपोर्टर फ्रॉम ईस्टर्न रीजन एंड सिंप्लीफाइड एफएक्यूज और प्रोसीजर टू ऑपरेट, ये तो पूरा बता ही दिया, ये तो आपने समझा दिया।
प्रोसीजर एक्चुअली जो मेरे से यदि समझ नहीं आया है सर, प्रोसीजर ऑलरेडी कॉमन डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पर जैसे मैंने बताया फर्स्ट उसमें प्रोसीजर में, तो वहाँ पे पूरा अवेलेबल है प्रोसीजर, और उसके बाद भी लगता है कोई डाउट है तो दे कैन पुट एन ईमेल, उस पर मेल डाल सकते हैं जो कस्टमर जो हेल्प डेस्क का जो मेल है, तो वो पूरा प्रोसीजर उनको दोबारा से बता सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
एक ये है नेक्स्ट के, क्योंकि गोल्ड हमारा इंपोर्टेड होता है फ्रॉम नॉमिनल एजेंसी से हम लेते हैं, खुद तो डायरेक्ट इंपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं, तो उसका हम डिटेल कैसे भरेंगे कि कितनी कॉस्ट है, किसी ने पुराना गोल्ड भी लेके रखा हुआ है, किसी की ओल्ड अपनी ज्वेलरी है जो एक्सपोर्ट कर रहा है वो।
सर देखो गोल्ड की जो वैल्यू होगी
तो
वो
आज की या तो वैल्यू ले लें कि आज गोल्ड का ये रेट है, तो
नहीं
एक्सपोर्ट
सर,
में जब हम वैल्यूएशन दिखाते हैं कस्टम्स आज के रेट पे गोल्ड का और फिर वैल्यूएशन लेता है।
नहीं सर, वो नहीं है, आपका जो इनवॉइस में जो वैल्यू है या बिल ऑफ एंट्रीज में जो वैल्यू है वही आपको लेना होगा।
तो बिल ऑफ एंट्री हमारे पास तो होती नहीं है, क्योंकि हमने
बिल
जो
ऑफ एंट्री नहीं है तो जो आपको लास्ट जिससे आपने परचेज किया है बैंक से, सपोज आपने किया, तो उस इनवॉइस में जो भी डिटेल है उसके बेस पे आप कैलकुलेशन कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा, मतलब कोई सा बिल होना चाहिए।
जी डेफिनेटली सर।
ओके, देन नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है एनलाइटनमेंट ऑन 1% रिबेट। ये तो अलग है, बुलियन इंपोर्ट तो अलग इशू है, अभी तो हम सिर्फ सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन की बात कर रहे हैं।
जी जी
ठीक भाई नहीं है। एक है मिस्टर गणेश डिंडले, ये कह रहे हैं कि वी आर अप्लाइंग फॉर अ सेपा सर्टिफिकेट फॉर दुबई, वी आर फिलिंग ऑल द डिटेल्स एंड गोइंग टू सिलेक्ट प्रेफरेंस क्राइटेरिया, बट द सिस्टम इज नॉट शोइंग अस एनी ऑप्शन।
सर, वो कल तक उसमें कुछ टेक्निकल इश्यूज था जो ऑलरेडी मैंने डीजीएफटी को बता दिया था, और शायद उन्होंने कल कर भी दिया है। तो उसमें थोड़ा वो जैसे ओरिजिनल क्राइटेरियन वैल्यू फिल नहीं कर पा रहे थे, और फिल करते तो डिस्प्ले नहीं होता था।
हाँ यही इनकी
तो
क्वेरी
वो
है।
ऑलरेडी वो रेक्टिफाई हो गया है, और उसमें यदि कोई ऑब्जर्वेशन है तो बताइएगा, हम उसको आगे ठीक करवा देंगे।
हाँ, तो वो इसका मतलब उनका सेकंड क्वेश्चन भी ठीक हो गया, इट वाज नॉट डिस्प्लेइंग सो इट इज ऑलराइट नाउ।
जी जी
एक किसी का है मिस्टर कन्नन नायर का कि फैक्ट्री डिटेल्स कैन नॉट बी अपलोडेड, तो द एप्लीकेशन इज
हाँ सर, वो भी था इशू जो आपने फर्स्ट
ठीक हो
इशू
गया।
बताया था, उसके साथ वो इशू भी रिजोल्व हो चुका है।
ओके, एंड पोर्ट कोड एंड डेस्टिनेशन कंट्री इज आल्सो नॉट अवेलेबल।
हाँ सर, ये 3 फील्ड में इशू तो मैं बताया कि 3-4 फील्ड में इशू था, जो कि हमने इनको डीजीएफटी को रिपोर्ट किया,
ये हो
तो
गया ठीक।
यस्टरडे इवनिंग ओनली दे हैव रेक्टिफाइड दीज ऑल।
अच्छा, ये भी हो सकता है कि मान लीजिए कोई अर्जेंट शिपमेंट करना है, किसी बायर
जी
की
सर।
रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो हम शिपमेंट कर दे रहे हैं और आपसे, आपका अंदर तो एक प्रोविजन है ही पोस्ट शिपमेंट आफ्टर शिपमेंट भी सर्टिफिकेट प्रोविजन ले सकते हैं,
जी जी
मगर
ले
जो
सकते हैं।
बायर है हमारा
हाँ सर।
फॉरेन कंट्री में जैसे दुबई में, तो वो अपने गुड्स क्लियर क्या ड्यूटी फ्री करवाएगा या ड्यूटी पे करके कराएगा और बाद में रिफंड लेगा?
सर नॉर्मली जो प्रैक्टिस जो हमारे को समझ में आता है, उसमें अंडरटेकिंग पे वो क्लियर कर देते हैं।
अच्छा,
बाय सबमिटिंग सम अंडरटेकिंग, वो कंट्री टू कंट्री वेरी भी करता है।
हम्म,
तो अंडरटेकिंग के बेस पे फिर विद इन सम टाइम वो बताते हैं कि 2 महीने में या 1 महीने में या 3 महीने
सर्टिफिकेट
में
दे देंगे।
प्रोड्यूस करना होगा, अदरवाइज आपको ड्यूटी पे करना पड़ेगा।
तो इन केस ऑफ अर्जेंट शिपमेंट वन कैन यूज दिस रूट,
कर सकते हैं, बट बट
अगर कोई
ये
बहुत
अच्छा
अर्जेंट है
रहेगा,
शिपमेंट।
पहले ले तो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा।
हाँ ठीक है।
जी सर।
बाकी तो उनका कोई पुराना ही है कि वो कल शायद डीजीएफटी की साइट में कुछ प्रॉब्लम थी कि वो रजिस्टर नहीं हो पा रहे थे, अभी हो गया है।
जी सर।
Right then, I think these are all the queries which were there. Thank you very much, Kuldeep ji.
Yeah, I request my other colleagues who joined from different places to switch on their videos and introduce themselves, so that
Yes,
the real exporters from that region can get to know each other.
yes, this is a good idea.
Yeah, initially I should have done in the starting, but somehow I missed it. Sorry for that.
And then let everyone show their face.
Start with Dr. Mahali, I think, first name getting displayed. Dr. Mahali is there?
Sir, namaskar, sir.
Yeah, please. Yeah, whoever controlling, probably they can pin him so that everybody can see bigger picture. And Dr. Mahali, please introduce yourself. I think your camera is not on.
Sir, I am on that.
Yeah, please switch on your camera and introduce yourself where you are working, so that that region's exporters. I request who is controlling that they can pin his screen so that it will look bigger.
Chino.
Myself is Dr. A.K. Mahali, Deputy Director. I am dealing with EIA Delhi in entire northern region.
Very good, sir.
So,
Welcome,
Dr. Mahali, you can tell your sub offices also where are located, so that.
So we have sub offices in Indore and Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Kanpur, and Jaipur.
So within northern India, these are sub offices are there. From anywhere you can avail the facility, whichever is convenient to you logistically.
All right. Next, please.
Yeah, from Kochi, Akila is there, I think.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Akhila VP, Assistant Director. I am from EIA Kochi. We are having sub offices Mangalore and Kollam.
Okay. Within Kochi region, Mangalore and Kollam.
Kollam.
Yeah.
Very good.
And Bangalore is also there, na, under Kochi.
Yes, sir. Mangalore and Kollam.
So you repeat
no, sir,
once
I already
again.
told, sir. Sir, Mangalore and Kollam.
Mangalore, Kollam, apart from Kochi headquarters.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
4.
Thank you, sir.
And on our website, you can have contact details of all these offices and emails also. So, other region, Kolkata, Manoranjan. While speaking, please, others can be kept in mute position. Mr. Manoranjan, you can unmute yourself and switch on your video and say hi to all. Unmute yourself, Mantanji. You are on mute. We are not able to hear you.
Please. Manthan sir, you are mute. You please unmute yourself first.
I'm sorry, there is some problem. Now am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, now we can hear.
Yeah. Sorry, once again, I am good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, everybody. I am Manoranjan Manthan. I am looking after certificate of origin here at head office EIA Kolkata. Apart from EIA Kolkata issuing certificate of origins of all schemes, we have sub office Bhubaneswar. That sub office Bhubaneswar is also issuing certificate of origins. If anybody have any problems, they can contact us for this reason.
Okay, then I think from Mumbai, Mr. Bidwai joined. Who is joined from Mumbai?
Yeah, Mr. Bidwai, please open your video and unmute yourself.
Who is that Tamilian? You just please mute yourself. Mr. Bidwai, you are an IT guy. You couldn't change your name. Bidwai, you are not audible yet.
दूसरी सर ये इनका मिस्टर बिदवई का वीडियो और ऑडियो दोनों ही म्यूट हैं, वो अनम्यूट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. क्या टेक्निकल पर्सन देख पाएंगे प्लीज?
So let us go to Chennai then. Chennai who joined?
Sir, Chennai, I'm KS Sugandhi. I'm looking GSP section. Last week only I joined as promoted as deputy director.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And you tell your sub offices also where are our offices in southern region. So
yes, sir. I'm total head office and 6 sub offices That is Coimbatore, Nagarkoil, Tuticorin, Bhimavaram, Vizag, and Nellore, sir. This all we take look after all these sub-office also related any GSP issues or anything, and rectify all the problems also, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So Bombay could able to resolve that issue, Mr. Kuldeep?
सर मैं कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहा हूँ उसके साथ, यदि हो पाता तो we'll try.
Yeah, otherwise you explain about Bombay. Anyway, you worked earlier, so how many offices and
In Mumbai, Mr. V.R. Bidwai is a section in charge for certificate of origin, and under EIA Mumbai there are sub-offices. One is Ahmedabad, Gandhidham, Rajkot, Porbandar, Verawal, then Goa and Ratnagiri. These are the sub-offices under EIA Mumbai. You can approach any of the office near to.
so as we all together promised that each region we have to conduct at least one webinar at the earliest possible. So through this platform, I am again advising all my colleagues to coordinate with regional whoever are there. Mr. Duggal ji, आप region में कोई coordinator है तो
हमारे regional offices हैं चेन्नई, बॉम्बे, सूरत, कलकत्ता and जयपुर में. Those regional offices will get in touch with these regional people, and then they will organize for their region specific exporters.
Yes, please. So this is, I think, only from gems and jewelry. Similarly, other textile and other sectors also there is scope. I think we should proactively get in touch with those things and we can coordinate. Kuldeep, you just take a note of it, and accordingly other possible sectors also we should.
Yes, sir.
So any other comments, quick feedback? I think what I observed, my initial feedback is that Kuldeep is going a bit faster, and I am trying to push him to speak in Hindi में बोलने के लिए बहुत उसका पीछे पड़ा था, फिर भी हुआ नहीं है इतना. So this
for the first time I think it is good.
Okay.
If no more questions, then thanks to the participant, and thank you, Dr. Reddy, for sparing so much time.
Thank you.
And
thank you
guiding
and
all the members. I think it will be a great help to them. And Kuldeep for explaining in detail the requirements. Wonderfully explained. I think itna detail mein kiya hai, but it is such a topic, and since it is for the first time being given to our exporters, I think still there will be some queries, and members would like to get in touch with not only you and with all your regional offices who have joined here and who have not even joined. तो उन सब से वो बात करके I think समझेंगे. We seek your cooperation and guidance so that our exports can happen to Dubai under CEPA.
Yeah,
Thank
every
you
question
again.
every question may not have been answered now,
Yes.
but as a new agreement, so many challenges will come. We all together solve that. Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Reddy, Dr. Kuldeep, and all your colleagues who have joined from the various regions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.